Hey guys, it's Kevin Gishmer for Sense8 Season 1, Episode 11, Just Turn the Wheel and the Future Changes. And I was definitely looking forward to this episode. Obviously, I fucking love this show. And this was the penultimate episode of the show. I will say it didn't really feel like a penultimate episode, but I still love this episode, obviously. A lot of this episode was a giant rescue mission, which was pretty awesome, and I definitely really love that. And I can definitely tell the finale is going to be great. And some people were complaining, oh, this was kind of underwhelming. And I can understand, like, from a storyline standpoint, yeah, but most of this episode was all the Sensates coming together to help out someone, and I'm pretty sure that's what the finale's gonna be, like, the aftermath of all this, and basically what happens, and I really do like that. I thought this was still a really great episode. I definitely really did love it. There's a lot to talk about, as usual, but I can't believe that I'm almost done with this show. Seriously, it's taken me a week to finish this. That's how much I'm into it, guys, really. Let's just get into this episode. So, as we know, Riley, of course, passed out, probably from a combination of, couple things. Ecstasy and also the flashbacks, because we started this episode and she has another flashback. She's stumbling across a snow-covered mountain, and in the present, she's lying in a hospital bed, and she sees a vision of her late husband, Magnus, who asks her to come with him. And I'm like, oh shit, I hope he doesn't mean dying. Like, I honestly thought he meant, like, come die with me. Like, when you usually see someone and they're like, come with me, that usually means, yeah, you're gonna die. So I really thought that Riley was, like, probably gonna get killed off in this episode. But, she sees a vision of and I hope she doesn't get killed off in the finale. I kind of feel like that's what they're foreshadowing, that Riley's gonna die. I hope that doesn't happen. She sees a vision of Yurza, who calls her stupid and says she will die there, and I'm just like, no, please, don't kill off Riley. I'll be really pissed if they do that. So Nomi wakes up panicked, aware of Riley's situation, and she knows that Riley's gonna be, lobotomized, just like she almost was. So she knows that Riley is definitely in danger, and that impending danger that they were talking about finally happened to Riley in this episode. So they know that something weird's going on, and Nomi and Amanita begin to plan, and I love how Amanita is just, like, completely accepting of everything. She's like, okay, yeah, sure. Oh, so that's the cop? Alright, then what's he saying? You okay? Like, she doesn't think Nomi's crazy at all. She's like, okay, fine, part of it is grace, but it's just surprising that while Diego is, like, freaking out about, Amanita's, like, so accepting of everything that Nomi says to her. Probably just because she's so trusting of her, but also because she knows, like, from what her mother says, that it can happen. So I find that very funny, though, that Amanita, despite everything Nomi's saying, just believes everything. So basically, Will joins them. They want to see what information BPO has on Riley, but Nomi's hacking equipment is completely gone, and then Bug appears at the door of Amanita's apartment, and he says he's already found Nomi's equipment by tracing police inventory logs, and again, he's trying to, like, flirt with them, which I thought was really funny. I love that about Bug. He's such a funny character. He hands over the equipment, and basically they have the equipment they need. So Capheus, who probably has the biggest plot in this episode, like, Capheus' plot gets fucking insane in this, and I loved it. He leads Amandi to the house of Jayla, and Capheus says there's something he must do, and he says that someone will come up later to pick up Amandi, and Capheus says he needs to pay a debt. So, basically, we don't really know what he's talking about at this point. I really was wondering what Capheus was going to do with this. So, in Bombay, Kala and Rajan are talking, and Kala decides to reveal to Rajan that her father did not want them to get married. And I like that she did this because he's been completely honest with her. She needs to be honest with him and tell him the truth. And I like what Rajan says. He says that he already knew and he's impressed that Kala told him the truth, but he tells her that he didn't just marry her because of an arranged marriage. He really wants to marry her. He really wants to be with her. He's not going to let his father tell him what to do and what not to do. So he gives her a choice. He tells her if she still wants to get married, they can. She does not give him an answer. She hasn't given him an answer, and I don't know if she's going to. We'll have to see what happens with that. I mean, honestly, we'll have to see what ends up happening between Kala and Rajan. I honestly feel like next season, a lot of this is going to be them meeting up with each other in real life. I think that really is, like, the next step we're going, but we'll have to see. That definitely is very interesting, though. So, Nomi hacks away, sets up a trap to block any online communication related to Riley, because she doesn't know what's going on, and Nomi says that Riley's father has been waiting outside her hospital room for hours. There's this really sweet scene of Riley's father playing his guitar, just trying to help out his daughter, get her to wake up, see if it's gonna work, and it's really sweet and kind of sad at the same time. And Nomi sees it for herself by visiting to Riley's location. She also notices that Will is sitting with Riley, stroking her hair, and she can definitely tell that they're getting acquainted and connected. So basically, I thought that was really interesting. So Capheus drives to the Van Dam, drives the Van Dam across the highways of Nairobi, and he pulls into the headquarters of the Superpower Gang. You know what he's gonna do, because obviously the Superpower Gang, they went after his mother, they said they're gonna hurt them, and basically, they're initially happy to see him, but become angry on discovering that his bus does not contain Amandi, because they said, look, we need back Amandi, and Capheus, isn't going to give them Amandi, and Capheus tells the boss that they should settle their quarrel like men, and they force Capheus inside their warehouse, and a lot of people are like, well, Capheus is like the nicest one of the group, why would he suddenly turn to a badass? Here's the thing, Capheus here has learned to toughen up from the other Sensates. That's the thing that people don't understand, is that the Sensates, yeah, they help them out, but they also teach them things, and that's something I think is very well done, because Sun then waits in solitary, and she's led to meet with a visitor, her brother, Jean Kai, and I really didn't know how this was going to go between Sun and Jean Kai, because obviously, last episode, she was told that if she, signs this thing, then she could be released from prison, but basically, John Kai tells her that the previous night, their father was depressed and drinking heavily, and that day the police found him dead. He's apparently committed suicide from car exhaust, and Sun's crying, and John Kai says they still have each other, offers his hand, and Sun very quickly realizes that John Kai actually killed their father. He initially feels, feigns ignorance, and then becomes increasingly hostile. He motions to leave. Sun leaps on him, punching his face from, she's just punching his face with, like, no mercy. His face is drenched in blood by the time the guards pull him off, and that was just insane. I thought that was really crazy what happened there. But honestly, he really does deserve it. I mean, killing her father like that, when her father was the one that initially told her that, and we know why he killed her father, obviously, because he was going to confess what he did, and, her brother was kind of like a coward, and he doesn't want him to admit what he did, so that's why he killed, their father. It was genius, but obviously, Sun's a badass, and he doesn't realize how much of a badass she is, and I thought that was pretty awesome. So, inside, we see, back with Capheus in Nairobi, inside the boss brings out Silas, heavily beaten and handcuffed. The boss tells Capheus to put Silas out of his misery, and offers him a machete. And this is pretty insane what happens here. Capheus shakes his hand, a gang member points a pistol at Capheus' head, and Capheus then, when he pointed that pistol, I'm like, is he gonna fucking kill Capheus? I honestly thought that was gonna happen. But Capheus then takes the machete, the boss screams at him to do it like a man, and Capheus just can't do it. He's not very tough, and Sun then paces in her cell. Capheus walks in her place as well, and Sun begins punching the cement wall in controlled bursts. Obviously, she has a lot of anger. I mean, think of what just happened to her. She pretty much thought she was going to be released from prison, and now she realizes she has no way of getting out of prison. It really sucks, and obviously she's pissed off. Her knuckles are bleeding. Every punch leaves a spot of blood on the wall. And then in Nairobi, the boss screams at Capheus to do the act in prison. Sun Capheus punch with, in prison we see Sun / Capheus punch with increasing intensity. And Sun then takes over Capheus' body in Nairobi. She dodges in the pistol near her head, shoots, and instead hits another gang member. She swings her machete, removing the pistol hand from its arm. In a flurry of slashes and kicks, she fights off the attacking gang members. One fires a gun. She uses another attacker as a human shield. The chopping and kicking continues. Eventually, Sun Capheus stands over a pile of dead bodies, and that was just awesome. I love how the other Sense8, the Sensates called another Sense8 to help them out, and they all have something. And I think that's really cool the way they did that. Now, the other thing I really loved about that scene between Sun and Capheus is that I really feel she got Capheus to toughen up a lot more. Because, let's face it, Capheus is probably the weakest of the group. Like, if you had to ask Capheus to, hurt some people, he wouldn't do it. We know he's just not that kind of guy. And Capheus then returns to Van Dam and drives off, and basically has to get the hell out of there. So Wolfgang then pulls up to a hospital in Berlin, and I was really wondering what was going to happen with Wolfgang in this episode, because obviously the whole thing ended with him and, I can't even remember his name now, but the guy he killed in the last episode. The whole thing ended with that. So I was pretty much thinking, okay, he's probably gonna go to India, but that's not where he goes. He pulls up to a hospital in Berlin. He walks over to a man in a parked car who asks him what he's doing there. And Wolfgang knocks him out. He wheels an unconscious man onto a wheelchair, parks him in front of Felix's room. He disconnects Felix from the machine equipment, from the medical equipment. And I'm like, he's gonna kill Felix. Like, if you unplug someone, that basically kills them. But here's the thing, Felix is not like brain dead or something, so there is a possibility that Felix could live. And the gang boss stumbles to his feet. His reinforcements arrives. He commands fine, and basically that gang boss that Capheus just beat up, he screams find them, and Kala then returns to her temple, and she's greeted by a crowd. They pretty much see her as this hero because she actually took Papa Jai to the temple where he could be arrested. And, it wasn't her intention to do that. It wasn't, but she pretty much is seen as a hero for this, but she rejects their praise because she didn't want to do this. She didn't want to hurt him. She didn't even know of the, what he was going through. She didn't know any of this until, of course, Sanyam told her. That was the only time. So, basically, she rejects their praise, and a holy man gets close to her. Will takes over her body, pinning the man to the wall and telling them all to leave, and that was really awesome when Will did that. So Will and Kala greet each other. Kala asks Will where he is, and he says he's sort of in Chicago, but he really is with Riley. Like, his thoughts, that's what he's thinking about. He's thinking about being with Riley in Iceland, and their consciousness switched to Iceland, where they see Riley in a hospital bed, and I thought that was a really good scene. I definitely really love seeing how Will cares about Riley. I mean, that was great. So Capheus speeds down the highway in the Van Dam, unsure if he's being pursued. He doesn't know if they're after him, remember. He's just getting the hell out of there. Silas rides in the bus. They're stopped by a traffic jam. A jeep of armed men reach the traffic jam and pursue on foot. Capheus appears in Riley's hospital room where Will and Kala are talking, and Capheus says he thinks he's about to die because, he knows that he can't get out of this without Sun. So Will then jumps into action. In Nairobi, Will reaches out the bus window, grabs a gun from an attacker, and shoots him. Capheus takes the wheel, reversing into cars, knocking back several gang members. The attackers pepper the van with bullets. He pulls forward across the median and drives into oncoming traffic, and he escapes across the highway into a back alley. That scene where he just kicked him with a bus, that was awesome. So the gang boss pursues on a motorcycle. The boss takes a shortcut, and after some driving, the two find each other at opposite ends of the street, and they accelerate towards each other. Capheus screams as the boss unloads his pistol at the van, and at the last moment, you don't know if Capheus is going to die or not in this scene. I should say that. You don't know what's going to happen to Capheus, and I really did love that. But basically, at the last moment, Capheus turns the wheel, the bus skids sideways, the boss isn't able to turn in time, and is hit by the side of the bus, and basically, he's dead. So, it looks like the bus killed him, and I mean, that was awesome. So, the boss and his motorcycle are sent flying, and the Van Dam comes to a stop, victorious, and it's really a victory for Capheus, but also a victory for Will and Sun, and it really makes me feel like in the future, Capheus really isn't going to need them, and I'm looking forward to seeing if that's going to happen. That I thought was great, and I really loved seeing them help out Capheus. That's something I thought was awesome. By far one of the highest episodes. So, Wolfgang drops off Felix at a different medical facility. He tells the nurse to keep him under the name Conan, and Wolfgang tells him that he won't be long. He hands the nurse an envelope of cash, and we don't really know what he's going to do, but then we see the damaged Van Dam returns to Jayla's house. Silas hugs his daughter. He nods approvingly at Capheus. He got him away from the gang, and basically Capheus did what Silas wanted him to do, and now everything seems to be okay, because, I mean, Silas, the only reason he was this, cold-hearted guy is because of the fact that that gang was pursuing him. Now that they're gone, Silas is okay. He's, Capheus did what he did. He gave Silas his daughter, and it's a great moment. It really is, because Capheus did a great deed, and after all that Capheus did, here's the thing. Yes, Capheus killed a bunch of people, and yeah, it was very illegal what he did, but he did it to return Jayla to, her rightful owner, which is, of course, Silas. That's what he wanted to do. He wanted to do a good deed, and he didn't want to give Jayla to the gang. I mean, not Jayla. He didn't want to give, Amandi to the gang, so he gave Silas Amandi, and it's this great scene. I loved it, and it was really sweet. So Riley experiences this intense flashback. It's nighttime on a snowy road, and Magnus is driving a speeding car, and Riley's in labor, and you can tell how crazy this was for her. Will and Nomi try to figure out how much time they have, and Jonas arrives telling them that they're completely out of time. And basically, Whispers has learned about Riley's situation, and I knew this was coming up when he basically said that. I'm like, oh shit, Whispers, because Whispers has learned about Riley's situation because he read it from Jonas's mind. And Jonas tells them that Whispers is with him in the lab, and basically Whispers guides Jonas on what he should tell the others. And Jonas says that the reason they're going after Riley is because they know that Will would go to Iceland to be with Riley, because he would want to fly to Iceland on a plane to be with Riley, which I do agree with Jonas saying that probably Will would do that. If it was to protect Riley, he definitely would do that, and that I thought was perfect setup for the next episode. I thought that was awesome. So Wolfgang pulls up at the mansion. Kala appears, sensing that Wolfgang should not be at the place. She knows that there's something not right. He really shouldn't be there. And Kala fearfully tells Wolfgang to leave, saying, she just turn the wheel and the future changes. That's why the episode was called that. Wolfgang then takes a gun out of the glove box and says that Kala doesn't understand his world. And they briefly kiss, and Wolfgang pulls into the mansion, and that was just an awesome scene. And after that scene felt like an action movie. It's like one of those scenes in an action movie where there's that girl that you're with, and she's kind of scared, and the action hero just kisses her. That was really awesome. So after a conversation with Wolfgang, Kala returns to her lab in Bombay, crying. She really has this big decision to make. She's looked at as a hero, but she's not sure if she should get married. Plus, she has Wolfgang. Kala's going through so much stress right now, and Sun appears and tells her that crying won't help. She tells her that one can't let go of their feelings. Sun says that she takes all her feelings and pushes them into her fists and fights, and that's how the episode ends. Now, I thought that was really great the way we saw that Sun and Kala interaction, because in many ways, Sun and Kala are going through the same thing. They're both going through very emotional things. It's just Kala's a lot more sensitive than Sun is, and I like seeing the difference between the two characters. But overall, guys, fantastic episode. Definitely set up things really well for the finale. I'm so surprised I'm already going to be on the finale. Seriously, I don't want this show to end, but let's just get into what's going to happen. Everyone's going to go to Iceland, I'm assuming. I'm assuming that's going to happen in the finale, that everyone's probably going to meet up at Iceland. Lito not being in the episode was kind of strange. I will admit that. Lito wasn't in this episode at all, probably because his plot ended, pretty much in terms of his storyline. It ended, and we didn't really need to see that again. I like that Capheus did a good deed for Silas. I do kind of feel like now Capheus isn't really going to need them, though. I want to see next week, Capheus helping them out without, helping, taking down gangs without Will or Sun's help, which I think would be really cool if we do see that. Kind of feel like it's where we're going next season. Let's talk about Wolfgang and Kala. What is Kala gonna do here? Is she gonna marry? Is she going to because she has a big decision here, and basically we need to see what she needs to do, because that definitely is gonna be very interesting. Obviously, what Kala decides to do. Is she going to marry? Now I can't think of his name. I don't know why I can't think of his name right now, but Rajan. Is she gonna marry Rajan? Or is she going to be with Wolfgang? She has a very big decision here, because, you can tell that she clearly is in love with Wolfgang, but, how can you say no to Rajan? After what Rajan said, I don't see how she can say no to him. He literally said to her, I don't care about this at all. I just want to be with you and things like that, and it's a really sweet scene. And the sad part is he knows nothing about, he doesn't even know about Wolfgang, and it's really sad, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that all plays out. Let's talk about Wolfgang. What is he gonna do with Felix? I'm not really sure what's going on there. We'll have to see what ends up happening with that whole storyline. Sun. Obviously, Sun feels trapped. We're gonna have to see what happens. I definitely feel like she's going to, get out of there. Get out of there, and it's gonna get really crazy, and I can't wait to see what happens with Sun's storyline. I really love what they're doing with her character, I have to say. Really good stuff there. Yeah, I guess I'm just really loving this show, really. I can't wait for the finale. I don't really have much else to say, I guess. I'm trying to think if there's really anything else to say. What's gonna happen with Will and Riley? Obviously, they're falling in love. You can tell they are. Who's gonna save Riley? Are they gonna be able to save Riley, or is she gonna turn? I kind of feel like maybe Whisper's gonna convince her. I hope. I swear to God, I really hope Riley doesn't die. Honestly, I've said this before. I hope that that scene is not foreshadowing that Riley's gonna die. I don't want her to die. I hope that doesn't happen. Because Riley's really one of the characters that's kind of undeveloped. Like, I'm fine that she's undeveloped right now because there are 8 characters and you can't, like, focus on all of them in the same time, so I'm fine that she's not developed, but, I hope she gets more developed. We'll have to see what happens there. This was probably the first episode where we really saw Jonas as a pure villain, and it was really awesome to see. I'm interested in seeing really where that's going to go with Jonas. That is going to be awesome. I can't wait to see Jonas' evil side. That's going to be really cool, definitely. I'm definitely looking forward to that. Probably we're just gonna see all of them come together, and I can't wait to see how that all works out. That definitely is gonna be very interesting. But that's basically my review. Hope you guys enjoy it. I know I didn't have too much to say about this episode, but that's just because not too much happened. In the sense of moving forward, I definitely feel like the finale is gonna be really satisfying. I can't wait to see how it plays out. I heard that it's much more of a like aftermath kind of episode, which I'm fine with. I think that's perfect for this show. But we'll definitely, I can't wait, I can't believe I'm already on the finale, like, seriously, guys, I can't believe that I'm gonna be on the finale, and that's gonna be my next video, but that is what it's gonna be for. But yeah, guys, I'm on the finale, and I can't believe that. I don't want to be on the finale, because I don't want to end this show, really. I love this show that much, and it better get a season 2, I swear to God. I've said before, I really wanted to get a season 2. Also, do you think that they're kind of foreshadowing that some of these characters, the Sensates helping them, maybe they're not really going to need them as much next year, because I kind of feel like that's what's going to happen next season. I think that's going to be really cool if we see that, but we'll have to see what ends up happening with that. I definitely am interested in that, definitely. But that's basically my review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys thought of this episode. Overall, guys, love this episode as usual. So thought it was a great episode. And we'll see you guys in my next video, which we're going to review for the season finale of Sense8. And I will see you guys for that. Okay, bye.